Let me tell you something, most people will never reach their full potential, not because they aren't smart enough, not because they don't have the talent, but because they're too busy worrying about what everybody else is doing. They talk too much, share too much, and waste their energy seeking approval from people who don't even care. Listen, if you want to elevate your life, if you want to break through to the next level, you have to master two things: focus and silence. Focus is the currency of success. Whatever you focus on expands, and whatever you neglect begins to wither away. If you constantly focus on your limitations, your problems, and the distractions of the world, that's exactly what will grow in your life. But if you choose to direct your focus toward your goals, your growth, and your purpose, then success becomes inevitable. The challenge most people face is not a lack of talent or opportunity, it's a lack of focus. They allow themselves to be pulled in too many directions, chasing after things that don't serve them and wondering why they never make progress. The truth is, focus is not just about what you choose to give your attention to, it's also about what you choose to ignore. You cannot afford to give your energy to negativity, drama, or other people's opinions. The moment you start worrying about what others think, you've already lost sight of your own vision. Too many people spend their lives trying to please everyone, trying to explain themselves, trying to prove their worth. But let me tell you something, when you are truly focused, you don't have time to prove anything to anyone. You are too busy building, creating, and becoming the person you were meant to be. When you set your mind on a goal, distractions will show up disguised as opportunities. People will come into your life with ideas, suggestions, and paths that seem promising but lead you nowhere. If you are not careful, you'll find yourself investing time, energy, and resources into things that have nothing to do with your actual purpose. Focus requires discipline. It requires the ability to say no to things that don't align with your mission, no matter how tempting they may seem. It requires you to be selective about where you put your attention because not everything deserves your energy. One of the greatest enemies of focus is comparison. The moment you start looking at what someone else is doing, how far they've come, or what they have, you begin to doubt your own journey. Comparison breeds insecurity, and insecurity kills focus. You start questioning whether you're doing enough, whether you're moving fast enough, whether your path is even worth it. But let me remind you, your purpose is yours alone. Your journey is unique. What someone else is doing has nothing to do with what you are called to do. If you allow yourself to be distracted by their progress, you will slow down your own. Focus also requires you to take control of your environment, your surroundings. Both physical and mental play a huge role in how well you are able to concentrate. If you're constantly surrounded by negativity, chaos, and noise, your mind will reflect that. You have to be intentional about what you allow into your space. That means cutting off unnecessary conversations, distancing yourself from people who don't support your vision, and making sure that your daily habits align with your goals. Focus is not just about mindset, it's about creating an atmosphere that allows you to thrive. Another major distraction that kills focus is busyness. Some people mistake being busy for being productive, but the two are not the same. You can be busy all day and still accomplish nothing meaningful. You can fill your schedule with tasks, meetings, and activities that make you feel like you're making progress when in reality you're just running in circles. True focus is about knowing exactly what moves the needle and putting your energy into that. It's about working smarter, not harder. It's about prioritizing the right things instead of trying to do everything at once. Fear is another silent killer of focus. The fear of failure, the fear of judgment, the fear of stepping out of your comfort zone. All of these can hold you back if you let them. When you are afraid, you hesitate, you second guess yourself, you delay taking action, and before you know it, opportunities pass you by. The key to maintaining focus is to push past fear and take action anyway. Fear will always be there, but it doesn't have to control you. The more you focus on your purpose, the less power fear has over you. At the end of the day, focus is about commitment. It's about deciding that nothing will pull you away from your mission. It's about waking up every day with a clear intention and refusing to be swayed by distractions. It's about understanding that the most valuable thing you have is your time and attention, and you cannot afford to waste either. The people who succeed in life are not necessarily the most talented, the most connected, or the luckiest. They are the ones who know how to lock in, stay disciplined, and keep moving forward no matter what comes their way. Silence is one of the most powerful tools you have, yet most people don't know how to use it. In a world where everyone feels the need to broadcast their every move, staying silent is a strategy that gives you an advantage. Too many people talk about what they're going to do before they even start. They announce their plans, share their dreams, and look for validation from others before they've taken a single step. But here's the truth. Talking about it doesn't make it happen. Speaking on your goals prematurely only drains the energy you need to execute them. Every time you tell someone what you're about to do, you get a small dose of satisfaction. And that false sense of accomplishment can trick you into thinking you've already done something when in reality, you haven't even begun. The moment you start sharing your plans, you invite unnecessary opinions, doubts, and distractions into your life. People will question you. They will tell you it's not possible. They will impose their own fears and insecurities on you. And if you're not careful, you'll start believing them. You'll start second-guessing yourself, wondering if you're making the right move, hesitating when you should be taking action. But when you stay silent, you protect your vision. You give yourself the space to grow without interference. You allow yourself to build in private without the pressure of living up to someone else's expectations or proving anything to anybody. Silence also eliminates the need for validation. Too many people are addicted to approval. They want someone to tell them they're on the right path, that their idea is good, that their dreams are worth pursuing. But when you depend on external validation, you give other people control over your decisions. If they approve, you move forward. If they doubt you, you hesitate. But when you operate in silence, you learn to trust yourself. You develop the confidence to move without needing anyone's permission. You stop waiting for someone to believe in you because you already believe in yourself. One of the biggest benefits of staying silent is that it allows you to focus on the work. Talking about something and actually doing it are two very different things. A lot of people are great at making promises, setting goals, and talking about what they're about to do, but very few actually follow through. They get caught up in the excitement of the idea rather than the discipline of execution. But when you stay quiet and focus on doing the work instead of talking about it, you separate yourself from the crowd. While others are busy announcing, you are busy building. While they are seeking attention, you are seeking results. And when the results come, they speak louder than any words ever could. Another advantage of silence is that it keeps your enemies guessing. Not everyone who listens to you supports you. Some people are waiting for you to fail. They want to see you struggle. They pretend to cheer for you while secretly hoping you never make it. If you reveal too much, you give them the information they need to sabotage you. But when you move in silence, they can't stop what they don't see coming. They have no idea what your next move is, and by the time they find out, it's already too late. You've already won. You've already leveled up. You've already positioned yourself for success, and there's nothing they can do about it. Silence also protects your energy. Every time you speak, you release energy. You open yourself up to conversations, debates, and opinions that can drain you. But when you choose to remain silent, you conserve your strength. You direct all of your energy into action rather than discussion. You avoid unnecessary conflict, meaningless arguments, and distractions that serve no purpose. Instead of explaining yourself, you let your results do the talking. Instead of defending your vision, you prove it through execution. In business and personal growth and in life, the most powerful moves are often made in silence. The biggest deals are signed behind closed doors. The most successful people don't announce their every step. They simply show up with results. They understand that success is built in the dark before it is seen in the light. If you want to elevate your life, you must learn to master the art of silence. The less you say, the more you can accomplish. The less you share, the more control you have over your own destiny. When you keep your plans to yourself, you avoid unnecessary pressure. The moment you tell people what you're working on, they start watching. They start asking for updates. They start expecting results on their timeline, not yours. And if you're not careful, that pressure can make you feel like you're failing even when you're making progress. But when you stay silent, you move at your own pace. You give yourself the freedom to grow without the weight of external expectations. You stay in control of your journey. And when you finally reveal what you've been working on, the results will speak for themselves. Clarity is the foundation of success. Without a clear vision, you will drift through life, moving from one thing to the next without any real direction. A person without vision is like a ship without a destination, just floating, hoping to end up somewhere good. But hope is not a strategy. If you don't decide where you're going, life will decide for you, and chances are you won't like where you end up. When you get clear on your vision, you take control of your future. You stop reacting to life and start designing it with intention. You move with purpose, knowing exactly what you want and why you want it. A vague vision will produce vague results. If you say you want to be successful but can't define what success looks like for you, how will you know when you've achieved it? If you say you want to make more money but don't have a specific target, you might get an extra dollar and technically you've met your goal. The problem is it's not what you truly wanted. Clarity brings precision. It turns dreams into concrete goals. It allows you to measure progress and adjust your strategy when necessary. The clearer your vision, the easier it becomes to create a roadmap to get there. Most people never take the time to define what they really want. They live based on what society tells them they should want. They chase careers they don't love, build lives they don't enjoy, and follow paths that were never meant for them. Then they wonder why they feel unfulfilled. When you take the time to get clear on your vision, you separate yourself from the crowd. You stop living on autopilot and start living choices that align with your purpose. You stop doing things just because others are doing them and start focusing on what truly matters to you. A clear vision eliminates confusion. If you don't know what you want, you'll be easily influenced by distractions. Every new opportunity will seem like the right one. Every new idea will feel like the answer. And before you know it, you'll be jumping from one thing to another, never making real progress in anything. But when your vision is clear, decisions become easier. You instantly know what aligns with your purpose and what doesn't. You don't waste time chasing things that have nothing to do with your destiny. You stay locked in, focused, and intentional about every move you make. Vision is more than just a goal. It's a deep understanding of where you are going and why. The why is just as important as the what. If you don't know why you want something, you won't have the motivation to keep going when things get tough. And they will get tough. There will be obstacles, setbacks, and moments of doubt. But when your vision is rooted in a strong why, you will push through regardless. You will find solutions instead of excuses. You will keep moving forward because your purpose is bigger than your problems. Getting clear on your vision requires self-reflection. It's not about what sounds good or what looks impressive to others. It's about what truly matters to you. What excites you? What impact do you want to make? What kind of life do you want to wake up to every day? These are the questions you need to ask yourself. And once you have the answers, write them down. There is power in writing down your vision. It makes it real. It turns an idea into something tangible. It becomes a contract between you and your future self. A strong vision also creates resilience. When you know exactly what you want, setbacks don't shake you. You don't quit just because things get difficult. You don't let temporary failure make you forget your ultimate goal. Instead, you see challenges as part of the process. You understand that every obstacle is shaping you, preparing you, and strengthening you for what's ahead. You stay committed not because it's easy, but because your vision is worth it. Without clarity, it's easy to give up at the first sign of struggle. But with a strong vision, you develop the mindset of a finisher. Clarity and vision is the key to unlocking your full potential. It gives you a sense of direction, fuels your motivation, and helps you stay disciplined. It keeps you from wasting time on things that don't serve you. It gives you the power to design your life instead of settling for whatever comes your way. The clearer you are about what you want, the more power you have to create it. Distractions are the silent killers of success. They don't come in like a storm and destroy everything at once. They creep in slowly, stealing your time, your energy, and your focus, one small moment at a time. You sit down to work and suddenly a notification pops up on your phone. You tell yourself it's just a quick check, but 30 minutes later you're still scrolling. You start your day with big intentions, but a small conversation, a meaningless argument, or an unimportant task pulls you off track. Before you know it, another day has passed and you're no closer to your goals than you were yesterday. If you want to achieve anything great, you must learn how to eliminate distractions with ruthless discipline. Most distractions don't appear harmful at first. They seem small, insignificant, even harmless. But over time, they add up. 5 minutes here, 10 minutes there. It doesn't seem like much, but when you add it up over weeks, months, and years, it's the difference between success and stagnation. The people who win in life are not necessarily more talented or smarter. They're just better at managing their focus. They know how to say no to anything that does not serve their purpose. They understand that every distraction comes with a cost, and they refuse to pay the price. One of the biggest distractions people face is other people's opinions. Too many people are more focused on what others think about them than on what they need to do to improve their lives. They hesitate to take action because they're afraid of judgment. They waste time explaining themselves, defending their choices, and trying to prove something to people who don't even matter. But when you're serious about your success, you stop seeking approval. You stop letting outside noise dictate your actions. You get so locked in on your vision that other people's opinions become irrelevant. Another major distraction is useless consumption. The average person spends hours every day consuming content that adds no value to their life. They binge watch shows, scroll through endless social media feeds, and drown themselves in entertainment while their goals sit on the back burner. There is nothing wrong with entertainment, but when consumption outweighs creation, you have a problem. You have to ask yourself, are you spending more time watching other people live their dreams than working on your own? If the answer is yes, it's time to shift your focus. Distractions also come in the form of toxic relationships. Some people in your life are not adding anything to your growth, they are subtracting from it. They bring drama, negativity, and unnecessary stress that drains your energy. They keep you stuck in the same conversations, the same habits, and the same mindset that prevents you from leveling up. If you want to eliminate distractions, you have to evaluate the people around you. Are they pushing you forward or pulling you backward? Are they inspiring you or exhausting you? Sometimes the best way to protect your focus is to create distance from those who don't align with your vision. Procrastination is another dangerous distraction disguised as productivity. People think they're being productive just because they're busy, but being busy is not the same as being effective. Some people spend hours organizing their workspace, making lists or planning every little detail instead of actually doing the work. They convince themselves that they need more preparation when in reality they're just avoiding action. The best way to eliminate this distraction is to stop overthinking and start executing. Success doesn't come from perfect plans. It comes from consistent action. Your environment also plays a huge role in your ability to focus. If you are surrounded by clutter, noise, and constant interruptions, it will be nearly impossible to concentrate. Your brain mirrors your surroundings. If your space is chaotic, your mind will be too. Creating an environment that supports your focus is not just about physical space. That means removing unnecessary stress, limiting exposure to negativity, and designing routines that set you up for success. When your environment is aligned with your goals, staying focused becomes much easier. Eliminating distractions is not about perfection, it's about discipline. There will always be things competing for your attention, but you have to decide what truly deserves your energy. Every time you eliminate a distraction, you create more space for growth. Every time you say no to something meaningless, you give yourself the opportunity to say yes to something that matters. The more disciplined you become in guarding your focus, the faster you will move toward your goals. Powerful moves are made in silence. The most successful people don't waste time announcing their plans, they just execute. They don't seek validation before they start, and they don't explain themselves to people who wouldn't understand their vision anyway. They understand that talking about success and achieving success are two completely different things. Too many people get caught up in making declarations about what they're going to do instead of actually doing it. They tell the world their next move before they even take the first step, and in the process, they give away their power. When you work in silence, you eliminate unnecessary distractions, keep your energy contained, and allow your actions to speak louder than your words. Talking about your plans creates a false sense of accomplishment. The moment you share your ideas with others, you get a small dose of the same satisfaction that comes from actually achieving them. Your brain registers the excitement, And suddenly you feel like you've already done something, even though you haven't. This is why so many people start projects but never finish them. They waste their momentum on conversations instead of execution. But when you keep things to yourself, you maintain that internal drive. You stay hungry because there's no applause for talking, only for results. When you work in silence, you avoid unnecessary opinion. The moment you share your goals, you invite other people's fears, doubts, and negativity into your space. People will tell you why it won't work, why you should play it safe, why you should take a different route. And if you're not careful, their doubts will become your doubts. But when you move in silence, you don't give anyone the opportunity to project their limitations onto you. You protect your vision from negativity, and you stay locked in on what you know you are capable of achieving. Working in silence also eliminates pressure. The more you talk about what you're going to do, the more people start watching, waiting for results. And that kind of attention can create unnecessary stress. You start feeling like you have to prove something, like you have to meet other people's expectations. But when you keep things to yourself, you move at your own pace, you give yourself room to grow without the weight of external pressure. You don't have to explain delays, setbacks, or adjustments. You just keep working until you get where you need to be. Another advantage of working in silence is that it keeps people guessing. Not everyone watching you wants to see you win. Some people are waiting for you to fail. They pretend to support you, but secretly, they don't want you to outgrow them. When you share too much, you give these people ammunition. They start interfering, discouraging you, or even trying to block your progress. But when you move quietly, they never know what's coming next. They don't know how far you've progressed until it's too late. By the time they see the results, you've already won. Silence also gives you the freedom to make mistakes and adjust without judgment. When you announce your plans too early, you lock yourself into an expectation. If things don't go as planned, you feel like you have to explain yourself. You feel like you have to justify why something didn't work out. But when you work in silence, you can pivot, change direction, and refine your strategy without anyone questioning you. You can experiment, learn, and grow without feeling the need to defend your choices. The most powerful proof of success is results, not words. Anyone can say they're going to be successful. Anyone can talk about their big plans, but only a few actually put in the work. The people who truly achieve great things understand that their results will speak for them. They don't need to convince anyone of their potential. They don't need to prove themselves before they've achieved anything. They let their work do all the talking. And when the results show up, there is nothing left to explain. Keeping quiet about your moves also strengthens your self-discipline. It forces you to focus on what actually matters, the work itself. You stop chasing recognition and start chasing mastery. You stop seeking approval and start seeking progress. You stop looking for validation and start looking for results. This shift in mindset separates the dreamers from the doers. Because at the end of the day, success is not about how many people know what you're working on. It's about how many people can't ignore the results when you're done. Success is not built on what you do occasionally. It is built on what you do consistently. Talent, intelligence, and good ideas mean nothing if you don't have the discipline to show up every day and put in the work. The difference between those who achieve their goals and those who don't is not motivation, it's consistency. Motivation comes and goes, but consistency is what keeps you moving forward even when you don't feel like it. The people who win in life are not necessarily the most gifted or the most fortunate. They are simply the ones who refuse to quit. They are the ones who do the work when it's hard, when it's inconvenient, and when no one is watching. Most people fail not because they lack the ability, but because they lack the patience to stay the course. They start with enthusiasm, but the moment they don't see immediate results, they slow down, get discouraged, or give up entirely. They want success to happen overnight, but real success is built brick by brick, day by day, through consistent effort. Growth is not always visible in the beginning. Progress can be slow, frustrating, and unnoticeable at times. But just because you can't see it doesn't mean it's not happening. Every small step forward adds up, and the people who understand this are the ones who eventually break through. Discipline is the foundation of consistency. If you only take action when you feel like it, you will never reach your full potential. Feelings are unreliable. They change based on circumstances, mood, and environment. But discipline means doing what needs to be done regardless of how you feel. It means showing up even on the days when you're tired, uninspired, or uncertain. It means pushing through when things get hard instead of looking for an excuse to quit. The most successful people in the world are not the ones who are always excited about the work. They are the ones who do the work regardless of excitement. Excuses are the biggest threat to consistency. People convince themselves that they need the perfect conditions to take action. They tell themselves they need more time, more resources, or more knowledge before they can start. But the truth is, conditions will never be perfect. There will always be obstacles, distractions, and challenges. If you wait for the right time, you will be waiting forever. The key to consistency is learning how to move forward despite the challenges. It's about finding a way instead of finding a reason to delay. Repetition is the key to mastery. No one becomes great at anything overnight. Whether it's in business, fitness, personal growth, or any other area of life, mastery comes from repeated practice. The more you do something, the better you get at it. But most people don't stay consistent long enough to reach mastery. They start something, don't see immediate results, and then jump to something else. They keep starting over instead of sticking with one thing long enough to become excellent at it. Consistency separates the amateurs from the professionals, the wishful thinkers from the achievers. The people who reach the highest levels of success don't rely on inspiration, they rely on systems and habits. They create routines that make success automatic. They remove the need for willpower by setting up their environment in a way that supports their goals. They don't wake up each day wondering if they should take action. They already know what needs to be done, and they do it. Their consistency is not based on how they feel, it's based on a commitment to the process. They understand that small daily actions lead to massive results over time. Consistency builds trust, not just with others, but with yourself. Every time you follow through on your commitments, you strengthen your belief in your own ability to succeed. But every time you break a promise to yourself, you weaken that belief. This is why so many people struggle with self-confidence. It's not because they lack potential, but because they don't trust themselves to stay consistent. When you become a person who shows up every day and does what you said you would do, you build unshakable confidence. You prove to yourself that you are capable of achieving anything you set your mind to. Most people underestimate what they can achieve in a year of consistent effort. They overestimate what can be done in a day or a week and get discouraged when they don't see quick results. But real transformation happens over time. The small, seemingly insignificant actions you take every day compound into massive results. Consistency is not about being perfect, it's about showing up, putting in the work,